investors should be aware of. Jamaica Stock Exchange, is the leader in the region. Still getting from $1 to $8 is still unmatched. I'm really trying to see people become wealthy through the markets. I've seen a lot of people chase fast gains and lose. I've seen people the long term and lose.
And see these APOs coming up, right? I mean, they're looking to raise how much billions of dollars, or proposed. We don't know the exact amount, but figures have been pushed out there,
You can do
right? Like
estimates.
that's, you can do estimates. That's multiples over what
Yeah,
Drake
of course.
was looking for. So I'm not sure. I mean, it does send a message to a lot of people about just the economic climate right now. And I mean, hey, kudos to you guys for at least shooting for the stars. So
Yeah, thank you, man. There's a lot of cash out there, though. You just have
mhm,
to make a good case to get it. And I mean, I think with the upcoming APO, I think they actually the CEO had, or is it a director had some comments that they are not yet. Sorry, they have not yet determined the exact amount they're going to need,
mhm.
and they could stagger it or they could do
Hmm.
multiple
Yeah,
offers.
it was in an article.
So
Yeah.
exactly, so that kind of gives an idea of the thinking because I'll be honest, the initial number was, in my view, outrageously high. I said, I don't see where, how,
Mhm.
or when they're going to raise that amount of money. I didn't see it.
Hmm. And you said it with the use of proceeds. Like, what kind of story are they gonna tell us for us to give them their
All
money?
they've said now is that they want to pay down a lot of debt. I think that's what
Hmm.
I've seen publicly.
Listen, I don't envy them because they have a bill to those two gentlemen that is going to be the most impressive payout in Jamaica's history.
But
Yeah.
yeah, they have a very fat bill to pay
It's going to
off.
be a heavy bill, a
Two
heavy,
very
heavy, heavy
important
bill.
gentlemen.
Yeah, that's going to be
Hmm.
a serious bill. I'll put it that way. My view
Yeah.
Yep.
is, and I don't see that being settled anytime soon. But let's say, I mean, listen, being recapitalized is not a bad thing. Guardian just put out some, good numbers today. I think determined by the movement of an asset, but that nevertheless is still great to see them come out like that. I think that that institution in particular has a lot of questions being asked about it. They are extremely profitable, and I actually think a book or a study should be done to the extent that persons have knowledge, because you're talking about a local institution paying 20 million is so much.
At
Times 150.
155, 3.1
Yeah,
3.1.
bill. Yeah.
You're talking institution. Think about this. Paying, give or take, 10% of its net profit to two people in 1 year. Think about that for a second.
Rich.
Do you know that that number in the US would never happen? And it's not a knock on them, because you need to remember as well that these guys were more or less entrepreneurs inside that bank.
Mm.
Right?
Hmm.
Their presidents gave the founder the latitude to embark on other ventures. And they were continuing to identify profit centers and growing them.
Yeah.
So you're not just talking about a bank, you're talking about these guys being almost partners who took
Hmm.
this institution to unimaginable heights
Yeah.
faster than was anticipated, and they got paid for it, and that's fair. But I don't think you'll see the likes of that again, because the kind of immersion that they had to do at the time they had to do it when they were not market leaders was just a unique set of events that created this outcome that we've seen. Remember, it was the Red Bank that was leading Jamaica in the mid 2000s. Yeah. So these guys had the room to build out a capital markets team and to build out the insurance and to build out the commercial bank, and they were super aggressive.
Mm. Yeah, I remember when I was just into that investing game and so on. It was really NCB Capital Markets pushing. So I know they were going very hard. I mean, I wasn't around when you said, mid 2000s. I didn't really know who was the big red bank at the time. Obviously Scotia. But I didn't really know that they were the ones that were, leading the banking game and so on. But definitely we could see that NCB was the biggest player, I guess, when I started knowing about the banking industry and so on. So kudos to those two gentlemen
Yeah, man.
and whatever ventures they're on to next.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they do with the money.
Yeah,
Them guys
yeah.
maturity, man. That's what they call more on plenty. Them
Mm,
guys.
the brata.
Yeah, man, them guys. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if neither works again officially, because I don't know what they do. To be honest with you, I have no idea what they do. Because there's no. That's the other thing to a lot of people miss. So when you get to that level in this country or any country,
Hmm.
especially a small country like Jamaica, when you become CEO of the largest entity in the country, where do you go after that? What are you going to do? Start a gardening shop? What, like what? Or a garden supply shop? Like, what is going to command your kind of attention to
Right.
that extent that makes it worth it? You ain't teach? Okay, teach.
Yeah, I'd retire and just invest. I just keep investing, I guess.
I don't think any of those guys have had a vacation in 15 years.
Mm,
This is
well,
probably the first free time they've had. Like, whether enough to get up and shop, go to the bank for something, or go on some private plane with the boss or somewhere or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Hmm.
And I just think they're bored. I mean, they started Link, and they tried to disrupt themselves before anybody started to disrupt them. And it's just too big a player in too small a country. It happens in Eastern Caribbean too, which is why if you look at it, like in Barbados and Trinidad, the conglomerates there do everything. The only thing left for the conglomerates to do is to own hospitals. I mean, that just came to me. I'm talking to doctors, but they're in cars, they're in insurance, they're in
True.
financial services,
Energy.
they're in supermarkets,
Hmm.
energy, because it's just too much cash being generated, and there's nothing to do with it. So you say, all right, we try this. And you try and turn some money and deploy and then get more. Then you're like, okay, so then they got
Well,
so
what
big in
next?
the 90s, they had to buy into Jamaica because Jamaica had cheap assets, right? But then that's not the case anymore. So now they have to be coming and paying top dollar to try and come here. But in Jamaica, I said, we're going to need your money. And then so we start take our money now and go over there and buy them. Yeah. And there's gonna be a lot more of that over the next 5 or 10 years. So what else is happening, folks? What else we can chat about? We've kind of beat the 138 horse to death.
True. I don't know any other IPOs you think we should look out for?
Yeah. So total office just have some loose ends to tie up, and then we should be good to go in, let's say, Q1 2023.
Okay.
Then we have another food processing entity that'll be in 2023 Q1. Then we have another manufacturer, which will be in Q2 2024. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
2024.
Hmm.
Then we have another food player that'll be Q3 2024. These are big, fantastic numbers, great multiples,
Mm.
companies that will fly off the shelf that people don't know about because they're white label, so they
Mm.
don't have
Oh.
many brands in the market.
Hmm.
So they'll be really, really good. They're very, very valuable, very cost effective or cost efficient. Investors will dig them. So that's what we're coming with. I think next year. I think we have another one, but I'm not sure what's gonna happen there. But if that one comes, it'll be great. Well, let's see. That's a household name.
Sounds like almost
But
a deal every quarter.
Yeah.
working hard over here, so
I mean, you're still at the office, so
yeah, yeah. I come in later these days. I don't come
yeah,
in the mornings, but
true. But I mean, it's at 7 p.m. on a Friday night.
yeah. Well, I was gonna have a drink, but I said I know we're supposed to do this at 8. But if I go home, I wasn't gonna leave, so I said let me link up you guys and then go have a drink after
Yeah, yeah.
because
Okay.
I think we're securing another one, so it'll be I feel good, so I want to have a drink.
Nice,
Okay.
Yeah,
nice,
I
nice,
want
nice.
yeah, I want a drink. So yeah, so we're gonna do a lot of deals next year. Very excited about 2024. 2023 was a lot of delays, a lot of we actually have another one. That'll be main market. Though. That's going to be regional. That one, a massive player.
Been a while since we've seen a main market.
Yeah, it's going to be a regional player that is long established, really, 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 really good entity. Okay. I mean, I've been traveling, right? So a lot of stuff has been going on behind the scenes. But
Hmm.
that'll be good. That's going to be a nice size raise. That could be a two, three, $4 billion raise. And yeah, it'll be good. And I think what it says overall, and what I think all investors should be aware of is that Jamaica Stock Exchange, is the leader of its kind in the region and probably even Latin America. Well, I would even say Latin America, most certainly from an English speaking nation standpoint in Latin America and Caribbean, because we're able to absorb all amounts of capital, administer it, pay it out, list entities, sell entities, facilitate mergers, facilitate overseas participation at an alarming rate. I mean, it's multi-billion dollars in US of deals that have been done on JSC over the last 15 years or 17 years. I mean, you think about it, Ray and Neville and Angostura was 750 million US. Red Stripe and Campari was 750 million US.
Mm.
Ray Nephew and Campari. Wait. Red Stripe and Heineken 750 million. Ray Nephew and Campari 400 something million US. I would even get into cable and wireless and Columbus Communications, which is like 3 billion, 3 billion US, and all the other transactions that have happened. So the landscape is there. It's just about how do we use it and exploit it for greater gain. And that is where I think we really know will kick off as more people start to see it. And we're seeing because IPO they raised 180 million US, I think it was. But they never kept all of it, obviously. I think what was their IPO? Was it 6 billion or 6 billion? With Cinco's IPO is valued at 6.1 billion. Yeah. I mean, that's a bag of money. That's 40 million US or 50 million US at the time. So we have the capacity to raise capital.
Hmm.
And it's now on the onus is now on people like me and my competitors to really push this vehicle as a means of raising capital and taking it seriously. It's not about pushing paper and being in the repo business and being in the treasury bill business or US treasuries business or the bond business. We can raise capital in the JSC, we can float preference shares in the JSC, and we can do US dollar index preference shares in JSC like that JPS 9.5%. That's probably been my single best local no instrument ever. These are the things that are out there. Make
Yeah,
some money, man.
yeah. Oh gosh, I love to hear it. I love to hear it.
Some money,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, us as retail investors, we're looking for stuff like that. We're just looking for opportunities. So we like to see more listings. We love to see those kind of things. Right.
Yeah, man, we're doing the work and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing though is, and I tell you this, as retail guys, and it's one of the reasons I don't really try to tell people how to invest or whatever, right? But I said to people, listen, if you have the opportunity to buy something for $1 and you can sell it at 7 or 8, that transforms your life. Many times people sell something for $1.20 or $1.30, and they say, yeah, but in the 5 years, it may take to hit there. Could I make an next 40% per annum on this, or whatever? But still getting from $1 to $8 is still unmatched. And I'm really trying to see people become wealthy through the markets. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of people chase fast gains and lose. I've seen people the long term and lose. But I always say to people to try and hold out with some percentage of the portfolio for as a minority position. So if there are traders, so to speak, predominantly, I try to impress upon them, well, have a small bit, which is stuff that you buy that you like and you can forget about, because that very thing could be what carries a portfolio over the edge versus the trading. You're trading, get like a cash in your hand, and you want to buy something for your girlfriend or your wife, or buy a cell phone, or if you get rich enough to buy a car, and then all the gains gone and you have to do it all over again, right?
Yeah.
But then 1 million can become eight. That's a much different story. You get the eight one time, and who knows, probably get dividends or something in the interim, and then you're a completely different station in life. And on the other hand, with the people with the long term, who are predominantly long term, which I said to them, well, have a little bit that you may consider trading ever so often if that's your thing, because that could be something that fuels some gains too, right? But you don't want to be left out of anything. I can't trade. I don't have the patience for it. I'll be honest with you. I don't have the temperament for it, I should say. I cannot watch the markets every day, though I'm in this industry. I don't have J Trader. I'll pay them whomever 2% to just execute for me because I don't want to think about it. Because I want to just get some money, buy, and forget about it.
Yeah.
God said it. There are people who had restaurant who forgot about it. There's a guy who had 2 million units to sale in the queue at $10 for years. Remember them telling the restaurant could trade at $4.50, And one day the message comes that, yo, they're being bought out for 32, like the release comes, and he's like, call off his frantic chapter trader and say, pull on them, no! But again, because he would have never in his wildest dreams imagined that this thing is going to be at 30. And it's actually good he got the trader on the phone, because if
Mm-hmm.
he didn't, that order, and it was in the morning before the
Yeah,
thing
people
opened,
that
Yeah.
gobble that up.
that those shares would have been gone. Somebody would have gotten $22 each on 2 million units overnight.
Right.
Overnight. So
Mighty God.
it's helpful to, but you do that with good businesses, though. You do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I say I buy and forget. I don't remember my portfolio now. I know I need to buy some more Trans Jamaica, which I'm gonna over the next 6 months. But I was buying that for $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my broker at an entity, I'm not going to call a name because we had to get in an argument. I remember one day I bought my last batch at $1.80. And I was just like, why don't I get my contract note? Them a whole out for 1 cent. I said, 1 cent? So, so bear in mind, this is before any of what happened, right? Because
Yeah.
this GIO thing was announced, and I'm like, this thing don't explode yet?
Hmm.
Scrape together some money and go buy some more of this thing. So when I hear 1 cent, I say, but this man, when I call the manager and get in an argument today, because I say, but sorry. I say, you make sure that this is filled that market as morning light tomorrow.
Yeah. Or him have to
Versus
pay for the
problems.
difference
Hmm.
because
Brother. Yeah, my hold
squabbling
up for one
over one
cent.
cent, right?
Hmm.
my dividend payment the other day was like 11%.
Whew, whew, gosh.
So
Nice. Nice.
September, and the prospectus says, if you read it, I read it on a plane because I said I have to know more about this thing. So
You're
plane is
looking
the
to
only place
increase
that could
it.
be a clear head. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to increase.
Yeah.
The forecast, I think, was, and GIO wasn't included in the
In
numbers.
the
They expect the
mm-hmm.
payout to increase, I think, 2025, or let's say it delayed 2 years because of COVID. So you're talking 2027. The payout's going to be even higher. Now, I don't know about you guys, but not nice like a nice dividend check to me, because to me, it literally feels like free money.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've I've had a dividend check where I'm just like, is this real money? Yeah.
But when I had my lab shares and I got that first dividend payment in January, I was like, this can't real. This can't real, bro. I think that money lasts me a good while.
As it should.
A good while. So,
Transjam is a very nice company. Very, very nice company to have.
yeah.
Yeah. Really love that
Yes, sir.
company, man. Trust
Yeah,
me.
man, it's a good, and it's appreciated a lot,
Hmm.
and they're
Well,
growing.
what is it now? Closed at what?
Fixed it.
$2.59?
Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
$2.60. I think it could be appreciated a bit more, but
Yeah, man, it's going to places.
no,
It's
for sure.
gonna try.
There's so currently, from my understanding, they don't own the rights yet for that new leg of the highway. Meaning, I think Enrock still holds that contract. So I think Transjab has to pay for that contract in order to start collecting revenues for that leg of the highway. Now, granted, revenues aren't being generated currently because no one's paying toll. No one's paying toll on that yet. They're just saying end of December, come January. So hopefully by then, they'd have to pay for that. However, when so this is all me. This is all hypothetical. I guess the listeners get to hear how I kind of internalize certain things. But if you have to pay for something like that, all right. I'm expecting, well, I don't know how much money it would cost. I need to actually see if they've done something like that before. So that's some homework I have to do. But you'd have to pay for that. Hopefully, they'll pay for that within this quarter before December is done, so that they can realize those transactions and collect that revenue by January 1. If they have to do that, they'll do that in this quarter, in my opinion. So you'd see an expense on the books, and that would probably look as less profits. Still, it would be very profitable because of that JIO acquisition. But then that January quarter, if they get it before that January quarter, January, February, March, so we're looking at mid-May. I'm expecting those numbers to look absolutely insane. I can't wait for that.
Remember GIO already, if I'm not mistaken, is responsible for all the infrastructure related to the toll road. So, I mean, I could be mistaken, but I think that would include this third leg. Why would they have a?
I think it's a thing with Enrock, I need to find it and show you. Because there's something I was looking into recently where Enrock, hold on.
The prospectus right here. What's it? That's 1C, right?
Yeah, 1C.
Something came out in the papers about negotiations, so 1C.
Let me see.
Alright, Trans Jamaica DA1.
See, Transjam still in negotiations with Enrock over phase 1C. I'm gonna send it in the group.
Oh, October 25th, that one.
That's the one.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I didn't think, I didn't know. Once I have it, I'm alright. I didn't need to know, though. I never need to know anything more. Yeah, see it there. Um, Continues to regard right to refusal to own, operate, and maintain 7 million US in revenue. We don't want to comment because it's ongoing.
Rockets
Free until
management.
the first. Cost of 188.5 million. If you use 7 million, it's going to be divided by 20. That's 20 years or 20 whatever years. So to that, boom, 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 boom. But then they get all this land as a result. Yeah. So it would kind of, it depends on how much they value that land for. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have to see what it looks like. But be that as it may, it's gonna be a. I mean, it's all time will ultimately tell what that number looks like. But I think one thing we can assume that we are net positive. But if they don't get it, I mean, it's gonna be onerous for somebody to come on and set up and one of the two legs, and then you ask, will the T tab work? Must work, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I think they'll get it. It's just I want to know
Under
how
what
much they pay.
terms?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Mm.
if it is that they have to fork out an arm and a leg for it, I mean, I personally wouldn't mind because I see that as even a buying opportunity. Because if they have to fork out an arm and a leg for it in this December quarter, that would drop. Those results would probably drop maybe mid-February. So I'd be looking for maybe a little dip in people that are fearful at that time, saying, "Yo, what is this big expense?" Or maybe it's a loss, or maybe it's just very low profits, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And that's a buying opportunity because knowing that the next quarter is going to look like what I expect it to look like. So it's just it's things I'm looking at. This is what you call, I guess, as a trader. I don't really do the quick trades, more like quarterly. I can do maybe a quarterly play or anticipate something quarterly, something like that. But it's one of those things I am looking at for Transjam and keeping a close eye out. So yeah. But as I said, fantastic company, right? Of course, the profits are going to be excellent. I expect good capital appreciation, and they
it's
pay
gonna be
good
amazing.
dividends.
Mhm.
What a stock, what a
Something I'd
stock.
say that I learned from the Transjam is that how slow the market can be. Because if you look at when they announced the acquisition, that was I think maybe Q3 or Q4 last year. And then they were out on multiple public forums saying, this is how much we expect to save. This is how much millions and millions of US we expect to save. And then it was already completed. And then there wasn't any reaction in the share price until like a good ways out. So like that
Yeah.
one was like and it also even taught me a lot about timing too, because if you look at it, the it languished at the IPO price for a very, very long time. For most of this year, it was at, well, a good portion of the first quarter this year, it was at IPO price, even below IPO price on proper
Correct.
volumes. Millions and millions of dollars were trading. Like, if you look at that, that's something about timing, because if you are someone, you put in your IPO money. When was the IPO of Transjam? I think 2020. It
Yeah.
didn't move till essentially, I think, 3 years later. Like, it shows you that looking for things like that on where it would move, you could have put your money in other things. And then maybe even last year when you saw that, you could have bought it, and then, like, you could have.
Well, let me tell you, I don't disclose my investment strategy much, but I've decided I'm buying Transjam for retirement. I'm never gonna sell it. Only gonna buy more. And every time I drive on the road, probably just buy more.
Use your toll money, the equivalent of your toll money for your month. You say, I go do this, I go put this in.
Yeah, probably even more. But my intention is to buy it literally like something that I intend to pay me in retirement. I'm not looking at, and that's 25 years, though I never intend to retire. But the point is, that's my strategy.
Yeah.
Infrastructure investments for the long game. Yeah, I mean, I'll do whatever else between now and then, but there's a couple millions well, and just buy it. And that's why I say I don't really keep up with the realities of the day to day events with them, because it's not like somebody can take up the road and carry it go somewhere, right? So at the very least, they have to renegotiate in 13 years for it, and they're gonna get it because it's in everybody's interest that they continue to own and operate the toll roads because they have the mechanism to do it. An outsider coming in really doesn't, have the lay of the land to do it, and it's just going to be. And I mean, the people of Jamaica own it, right? The auditor general,
Exactly.
whatever, the administrator general has the one golden share to operate it, but it's owned by the people of Jamaica. So what they're going to do? Take a vote or a referendum on it? Do you think Jamaicans going to say they want foreigners take with them highway? You're crazy. That will never happen. So,
Yeah, that
it's
will
not
never
it's not
happen.
going to happen.
Hmm.
So, anything else?
I'm really looking at energy. I think that
Yes.
is gonna be like a
Oh
huge
yeah,
over like the next 5-10 years. I'm looking at some of the players in the energy space. I'm hoping that more of them list actually. I'm looking at I have big hopes for Wigton.
Yes.
Real
That's
big
a
hopes
good
for
that's a
Wigton.
good
Like
infrastructure player. Yeah.
yeah, and if
Yeah.
you look at it too, they I really think that Wigton could be a heavy dividend payer in the next few years too.
Yeah. Once they
Because
get this second, this whichever phase they have to replace,
things
I think after that they
yeah,
may be able
phase
to
phase next year
two.
they want to
I think so. Phase two.
I
I'll
think
be
it's
honest.
next year they want to. Yeah.
I haven't looked at Victor that closely. I don't really. I like the company, and I'll be honest, it's something I've thought about as another retirement stock for me. But I haven't. I'm sorry about that. I haven't looked
Mm.
at the balance sheet or anything. I know they're doing pretty well though. Too. You
Mhm.
know what I like? I'll tell you. If they ever go public, anything in like the water, sewage, drainage. I had high hopes for NCB's Stratus Fund. I think it is. I know they
hmm,
went into tourism with it, but I was really hoping. And I mean, I suppose some ideas one will have to execute themselves. But I was really hoping they were going to go into that type of drainage, sewage, because downtown Kingston's, what do you call it there? Drainage network, it's going to take them kind of money to build out because it's all old pipes. Then we got to dig up everything. I don't know if it's a billion US, it's a lot of money, but it's a pile of money. And then you're talking there, Newport, West, that whole Marcus Garvey Drive, all of that has to be constructed 'cause it doesn't exist because the kind of drainage you're talking about is massive,
yeah,
right? And you're talking proximity to the ports and everything. I mean, the road network is good, but the drainage,
yeah,
so it's very cost prohibitive. And I kind of feel like as Jamaica, the next thing is as Jamaica, we can touch on this, as Jamaica's investment rating approaches investment grade, you're gonna start seeing more of these large foreign institutions coming here to take on projects of scope that make sense to them because they're not coming out here to deploy $100 million. They might come out here to see what can they deploy that's $2 million as a part of their fund. US, right? So they're looking on humongous projects. Don't be surprised if we build another airport and here is an entity out of Italy, for argument's sake, build it because it's just such a large undertaking, right? But those are what you call transformational, transformative, or well, no, or transformational for short, or initiatives.
hmm,
Now that is going to spill down to the market. So if I had the opportunity to invest in anything related to water, I take it on. I'm very passionate about water. I think as a business, it's a good business. As a social good, it's a good, it's a good thing. But you can't have it as a social good if the business is not right. Right? We've lost. I mean, I heard a presentation last night. Minister somebody was speaking at one time in Kingston. we used to lose 72% of the water pumped by the NWC.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
I find that so hard to believe. What?
72. Then that's why you had the non-revenue water project where they were digging up all the pipes around the corporate area.
Oh yes. Oh,
No,
that's
it's
why that
like,
happened.
yeah, no, it's like 30
Wow.
something. And I said to people, if they knew, if we had not, and I mean, say we are talking government now, I'm talking Jamaica, because I think that whole initiative actually was signed under the PNP, actually. So it's not a partisan thing when I say we know. As Jamaicans, if we did not have that reduction in NRW, this drought gone, you see the measures that started in March this year,
Yeah.
I remember in November last year, them starting a version. That's how much of a difference that thing made.
Wow.
Yeah, so and now when they get it below 20%, because it
Hmm.
was said that tenders are gonna go out for stuff, and it's gonna go island wide because they're doing Portmore now. At that point, they can now take you will now qualify for external investments in water projects, therefore opening up newer doors of capital or more doors for more capital to come in to accelerate the speed of development. So our investment as well and transformation. So that's what I'm saying to people. If you miss the train early in terms of what Jamaica is doing and it's being opened up to outsiders, it is going to leave you by at an increasing rate with the passenger time. Because it go when your momentum and your snowball.
Yeah.
So I say to investors, hold your stock, get your stock, make sure if you buy or whatever, make sure you get things that the world going to want. Because just like we have seen with our real estate, Remember say, what's it? Remember where AC Hotel now is, You guys are old enough to know this. Where AC Hotel now was a ball field
Yeah, I
15 years
remember.
ago.
Yep, I
Hmm.
remember. My
Man
school
used
used
to
to be
play
there,
scrimmage.
near there.
Man used to play scrimmage over there, just like where Guardian has put in millions of US dollars to build scrimmage, to build Cambridge. That's a ball field too. So that is how we were wasting assets in the corporate area at the time.
Hmm.
Right now, you have quick chick gone grand spend,
Yeah, so that
right? And
I've never been, but is it?
but
Have
I'm
you
saying,
been?
well, I order from quick chick all the time.
Really?
But I
Mm.
don't go grand spend. I've driven past it, but I'm going to go there next week.
Yeah, I drove past it too. I hear it's pretty fast. So yeah,
Two and
like
a half minutes.
2.5 minutes.
I have a relationship with quick chick, so we're getting good information.
Wow, that's still pretty impressive. 2.5 minutes for your chicken. That's
Point
madness.
five, and it tastes amazing. Like I
Wow.
mean, I love fried chicken. Maybe too much saffron, manage it,
Same.
but cholesterol's good, kidneys fine, all that. So making sure I keep it that way. But nothing like maybe because I'm black, I don't know, but fried chicken, cheese.
Next to them say watermelon.
Listen, I don't like watermelon, but fried chicken. That's where that part
That's
for me.
okay. Well, I don't have any
Yes,
further
trust me.
questions. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you
Yeah,
for
man,
coming
no
on the
problem.
podcast as always. And
My
that's it,
pleasure.
guys. Limitless out.